Hi, my name is Shayna Taylor. I'm owner of Shayna's Kitchen and Bottle and Stone. Today I'm going to show you guys some of my kitchen rituals that I do to stay on my wellness routine. First, I really find it important to have a routine in the mornings. And one of my most important things that I have learned is to keep my body alkaline first thing in the AM. Our bodies naturally start to detox itself and cleanse out all those toxins that we have throughout the day, what we eat, environmental. There's a lot of factors that play into that. And so keeping your body alkaline and giving it a little bit of an extra help in the morning is, I think, essential to make sure that you have a lot of energy throughout the day. And also keeping the body alkaline is a great way to stay healthy and not sick. It's very simple, literally just a glass and some water, and then I will talk to you guys about this product that I like to use, the products I like to use. It's called Get Off Your Acid, Greens, Minerals. A lot of people are actually mineral deficient, which I think more people should maybe get a little more educated on. No, I'm kidding, but it is true. One of the main things that we deplete ourselves of are minerals, and we don't replenish them because a lot of our fruits and vegetables don't have all of the minerals that we may need, or you didn't get your veggies in for the day that would really kind of make up for the minerals that you need to replenish. So, and this is also a great blend of basically all alkalizing greens that are still very active. So I don't know if you'd be able to see, but they basically look static, which means they're an active green. So I just put a scoop in my water and a scoop of the minerals, just like that. And then gut health is extraordinarily important. And I talk about this a lot on my platforms, and this has been a game changer for me that I add into my morning routine. This is a probiotic blend by MaryRuth's. It is very simple. I love that it's a tincture. Personally, capsules really inflame my gut. So I love powdered form things, liquid form things. So this has been really essential for me so that I don't have to take capsules on an empty stomach in the morning to get in my probiotics. So it's very simple. All you do is fill up your little tincture, drop it in there. And then sometimes, depending on my mood, I have a lot of other things I like to throw in there, but we're keeping it simple this time. Where's my little mixer? Here we go. Essential for mixing. You can use a fork, obviously, but this is great. Got it on Amazon. And all it does is mix it up. Doesn't taste bad. You would think it does, but I promise you it doesn't. And what's great about these greens too and minerals, the company that makes them, he's actually a dear friend of mine. He makes different flavors, so if you're not into plain, you can have whatever flavor you want. Very simple. All you do is drink it up. Normally I'd chug it though, but I'm not gonna make you guys watch me do that. So second to my routine that has changed my life is matcha. I actually sell matcha because I've been drinking matcha for 10 years, and it has been a game changer, again, for keeping the body alkaline in the morning and also not having that anxiety that coffee brings. I love coffee. I love the flavor of coffee. I have nothing against it. I just prefer to drink matcha for the antioxidants, the natural detoxifier that it is, and just the calm, soothe, long-lasting energy that it gives you. Being an entrepreneur, that's essential to my life. And I think that, just drinking something alkalizing in the mornings along with the greens is awesome. If you are a coffee drinker though, just drink your greens and then have your coffee and your gut is basically set for the acidity. Game changer. So I'm gonna show you how to make matcha. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how I make my morning ritual matcha. I like to do it as a latte with any alternative milk. I prefer vegan. I'm using flax milk right now, but I also encourage you to do almond milk or whatever you feel the most comfortable with, oat, whichever. So we have flax milk here, nice and hot. I have my matcha bowl, my matcha, little mug, matcha whisk. So we're just going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon of matcha into the bowl. This just helps remove a lot of the chunks so you don't get little balls of matcha in your latte. Then we have some water here that's at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. This is important. If it goes anything hotter than that, it actually starts to kill the properties that you want, the antioxidants, etc. So you can obviously, this one has a little thermometer, but if you have a tea kettle, just make sure it doesn't go over that temperature. You're gonna add just a little bit in there. And then whisk. Basically fast-paced, back and forth kind of circles until you have a foamy kind of texture, consistency. That just means that the matcha is really mixed in with the water. Once you're finished with that, you get your little mug, whatever mug you love, and you pour the matcha into the bottom, and then the milk on top. I like to kind of do this at an angle so that it looks pretty on the top. So you kind of just go like that, swirl it around. It's always different every time. But this is how I literally every morning have my greens, have my matcha, and then I normally sit and do a little bit of journaling and meditating while I drink my matcha. And this is essential to my mornings. I actually make sure that I wake up early before my workday so that I have these essential routines into my life so that I feel grounded and ready for my workday. Okay, now I'd love to show you guys, as an entrepreneur and somebody who works a lot and has not a lot of time extra on their hands to always cook, or I don't know if you're like me, but I get sick of ordering the same food all the time. I want to show you guys one thing that I do on Saturdays or Sundays. I take 3 hours out of the day to meal prep so that I'm prepared for the rest of the week to basically make simple things like salads and, you know, foods way more time manageable and also just delicious with different varieties of options and very quick. So I'm just going to show you how, and well, at least right now, my favorite vegetables that I am prepping for my weeks ahead. I have broccolini, regular broccoli, either one works. I have some asparagus here, some shucked peas, some regular peas, and then of course all the greens, mixed medley, some collard greens, lots of stuff that I'll show you guys later. But for now, I'm just going to steam these vegetables so that they are good to go. And then I want to show you how to assemble some simple salads, including showing you some of my 2 favorite salad recipes that you can make bulk of and then keep in your fridge and store throughout the whole week or 2 weeks, depending on how much you use it. So while I chop and prep my broccoli and asparagus, there's always a lot of scraps. I have decided to make part of my garden outside a compost bin. So I am very old school, so I like to have lots of pet worms and all those fun things. So I have a little bin here that I keep in my kitchen throughout the week that I basically throw my scraps into, and then at the end of each week I throw my scraps into my compost bin. This is just very helpful for 1, less food waste. I think that's a big topic, and 2, just great compost for all of my plants, which is a plus. All right. Once you have the stems chopped, which is the chewy part of the vegetable that you don't really want to eat, I have a handy little steaming basket here. Put my veggies in. Do the broccolini. I actually quite like the stem of the broccolinis. Normally about this thick from the edge is the piece that kind of is chewy and you don't want to eat. Again, I'll either give it to my dogs or put it in my compost bin. But the rest of it I find very tasty, and you can kind of chop it up how you like to put into salads, which I can show you guys as well. So you can either keep it whole like this and steam it, or you can literally chop it exactly how you would want it in a salad. Sometimes I like to keep it whole because I'll have a fish and just do a simple broiled fish with the broccolini on the side, and broccolini is already cooked, so that just is less dishes, etc. Or I like to chop it into small bite-sized pieces and have that steamed so that I literally can sprinkle it on top of salads and lettuce. And you just want to put it into the basket. So all you want to do for that nifty little steam basket is add a little water at the bottom. Put the lid on. You want it like medium high, and then that basically will take about 5 to 10 minutes depending on how tender you want it, and that'll be finished. Let it cool. Put it into storage containers. I love these glass ones. I have different varieties. They basically have bamboo tops. Those are great for just organization into the fridge. Obviously you can pull it out as you want it and then, you know, assemble your salads. Another great trick that I love putting in my salads, it doesn't matter what green it is. Some people think I'm insane because I love to make collard green salads, and I can also show you it's very simple how to make it chopped. The essential part of a collard green salad is, I think, the same as kale. Nobody likes gnaw on big pieces of kale, is to basically chop it as finely as possible, and then you get all those flavors, you're getting that nutrients, and then we throw in things like tarragon, basil, parsley, and some herbs, and it really spices up a nutritious salad and makes it taste incredible. So I'll show you kind of my trick for the collard green. So you just want to cut the stem out. You can do as many, pile them on top as possible as you want. Cut around the edge. Remove the stem. You want to pile them on top of each other as you're going about it. Now, this is the fun part. So you want to start from this part down, bring it all together basically like a burrito, and then just roll it like that. And then we're gonna start from one edge and just chop super thin all the way until you get to the edge. So I prefer very thin, but you can also do medium size, larger cuts, whatever you would prefer. And then I like to just go long ways, just so you're not getting too long. And then there you go, nice and chopped collard green. All right, so we have our collard greens chopped. I think our greens are about done here, which is amazing. I'm just gonna let those cool off. So one of my favorite things that I love to cook with right now is peas. These are shucked peas, very sweet, amazing. The reason why I love them so much right now is because they are in season for the summer. I think it's extremely important to eat seasonally. Our bodies naturally just want to eat that way. Obviously, living in California, I'm a little spoiled. I have a lot of things all year round, but I still love to eat as seasonal as possible. So peas are definitely my go-to at the moment. They're very easy to basically blanch is the way that you want to call it, or what you would want to call it. And we're just going to boil some water in a pot. Once it's boiled, you throw them in there about 2-3 minutes max so that they still are that kind of pop crunchiness when you put them into a salad or if you want to eat them right away. And then you take them out and throw them into a bowl of ice with water so that you stop the cooking process. That way, again, they stay vibrant green, really crunchy, and that's about it. All right, I want to show you guys 2 staple dressings that I love for my salads. I also can use them sometimes for marinades on fish or chicken. This is my absolute favorite, and I'm really excited to share with you guys. One of my tools that I love to have is a zester. If you don't have one, it's all good, but it is a great tool. So you can also use a blender for this. I am having a little hand blender here. It just goes into this situation once it's all the ingredients are in there, but feel free to use a blender. It works the exact same. So for this recipe, we have 1 lime, 1 lemon, garlic, dates, parsley, basil, and some really good olive oil. And all I'm gonna do is zest the lime first. Zest just really helps bring in kind of more of a tangy flavor. Obviously the lemon and lime naturally kind of have that, but zest is a great kind of extra add-in flavor for things like dressings or even a garnish for simple protein. So we did 1 lime zested, and now we're using all the juice for it as well. We're gonna also do a lemon. Okay, next we have some fresh garlic cloves. It's either 1 large or 2 small. We have 2 pitted dates. This is the natural sweetener that I like to use for this recipe, so it has that perfect balance of tangy and sweet. Then we're gonna do about a cup of parsley and a cup of basil. So that's like a pretty large handful. I'm a terrible measure person. I'm a chef, can't blame me. So I always just kind of guesstimate, grab the leaves that look good, throw it in there. So just like that. Then we're going to put the olive oil. And you want about 1/3 cup, give or take. Obviously, you can add more if you think it's necessary. I'm, of course, just eyeballing it. And then you can add in a little bit of salt to taste. And actually, you could totally put in a probiotic tincture into the dressing, and then all of a sudden you have a probiotic salad dressing. So I'm actually gonna do that now. You can never have enough probiotics, especially like eating throughout the day and balancing the foods, and it helps with digestion, constipation, all those things. And I'm just going to blend this all together. Awesome. So great herbs in this. And again, if you wanted to double this recipe, this would probably be good for 2 salads, depending on the size. I make extra large ones, but this is, I don't know if you guys can see the consistency, but it's beautiful, it's vibrant green. The lemon will keep it fresh in the fridge, and it is so flavorful, the perfect amount of sweet and tangy. Again, you can make triple, quadruple, whatever the amount that you would like to make to keep this in the fridge to pour over any dressing, use it as a marinade. This is a great routine to kind of get in the habit of just prepping and having in the fridge. Nothing better than homemade. So I want to show you guys a second dressing that is a little more simple and also an amazing go-to for any salad. Honestly, works literally on anything. It's super, super simple. So we're gonna do olive oil. I always use cold pressed organic, very important. And of course I always wing it, but it's typically about 1/3, 1/4 cup olive oil. Again, if you want to double this recipe to make extra amounts to keep in your fridge, that is the way to go about it. We have half a lemon. Then we have Dijon mustard. I love a little bit of a kick in the dressing, just gives it a little bit of flavor. Again, a little tanginess. We're gonna put a dash of salt. And then this is actually honey from my farm. It's hemp honey, actually. And we're gonna just drizzle a little bit in there as well. Really that simple. Again, if you wanted to add some extra things to there, sometimes I put cinnamon, which is a great add. Sometimes I like to put some herbs as well, so you can mince up some basil, some parsley, whatever you feel. But this alone is honestly such a good go-to dressing. All right, now I want to show you guys how easy it is to assemble one of these salads that I'm talking about. So we have our very beautiful collard green, where it's in the shapes that you're not gnawing on leaves. It's where you want it to be. And then we have our steamed vegetables here. We have asparagus and broccoli. For this one, I'm gonna use broccoli. I think broccoli is just a really good add into salads, gives it that really good flavor. You can also roast the broccoli if you prefer that. So I'm literally just going to take this chopped up broccoli, sprinkle it in there. I'm going to add in some of my peas. And then we have our mustard dressing here that I showed you guys. I'm gonna use this one today. You could also use the herbal one. Both of them would be incredible. I'm just gonna use this one for now. Just gonna pour it on like that. And then another fancy thing that I like to add to salads is pumpkin seeds or pine nuts, roasted almonds, any type of nut that kind of gives it that nutty flavor. So I have sprouted. I think that sprouted is extremely important for nuts and seeds specifically. The reason why the term sprouted is there is because it's basically soaked for a certain amount of hours, which it pulls out the enzymes that actually disrupt our digestive system when we eat things like nuts and almonds and seeds raw. A lot of people don't know this, and so sometimes when you eat a raw almond or raw nuts, you kind of get gassy. That's because they have this natural protective layer on them that disrupts our digestive system, and we can't actually digest it. These are raw. We can throw them on a pan, toast them. That's normally what I would do, but right now we're just gonna keep it simple and sprinkle these right on top. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys one more tip that I love for prepping. I love to cook in advance sprouted quinoa as well and keeping it in the fridge. This is great because you can have it on the side of your protein and you can reheat it, add in some garlic powder, little seasonings if you want, or you can put it directly into a salad to just make it a little bit more filling. And you just want to put as much as whatever you think is good for you at that time. Toss it up, and you have a beautiful salad for lunch or dinner. All right, now I want to also show you guys something in my routine that I love to do every week, especially in summer and springtime. This is my favorite, juicing. So I never juice in replace of a meal. I don't think that that is the right way to do things. It is always to add more nutrients into your diet or get those more greens and nutrients that you need throughout the day, as well as eating nutritious meals. So one of my favorite green juices right now is one I'm going to show you. Again, I like to do big amounts of it so that I actually make enough for multiple juices so that I can keep it in the fridge and eat it within 24 hours of making it. That's the best. Freshest of fresh is of course the best way to drink it. I love to make it fresh, but sometimes we just don't have the time to make a juice every day. So prepping just for 24 hours just makes it really nice to know that that juice is waiting for you the next day. So I'm gonna show you guys how to cut a pineapple. I think that some people struggle to know exactly how to do it so that it doesn't, have all these weird cuts or whatever it is. So I'm going to show you a simple way. I'm going to start by removing the top, flipping it over, cutting the bottom so we have a nice flat surface. Remove that. You can actually take this and put it in water and it will start to root and you can grow your own pineapple if you like. It's fun, if you have the time. All right, now we're going to cut off the skin of the pineapple from top to bottom. Basically how you want to do that is kind of work in a movement that kind of is like a half circle. And so you're just going to do that all the way around. Like that. Right down the middle. And then this is kind of the tricky part. Takes a couple times to really get this one, but you're gonna cut at an angle into the core. Flip it around. And then it should just kind of pop right out. So the core, I actually love. This is where a lot of the nutrients is, bromelain and things, vitamins, minerals, and I actually like to juice the core. So we will keep this and juice it, but for the sake of wanting to have pineapple, in the fridge as a snack, you would just cut it from there. Cut that in half, and then you have little bite-sized pineapple pieces. So that's obviously not necessary for the juice, but we can just cut those lengthwise, and we're gonna just juice these and as well as the core. Second thing that I would like to show you guys is how you would cut this, because I use a cold press juicer. I think it's very important to get the most nutrients that way. Cold press just basically means it smashes it instead of spiraling it and cutting it and whatever the other types of juicers do. So it's a very similar technique actually. Same thing for the grapefruit. You want to just cut the top and the bottom so you have a nice flat surface. And then save movement, half circle, cut off the skin. And then I cut those kind of into 4 so that it fits into the juicer. If you need to cut it more, you can also do that. All right, I think we are ready to make our green juice. So if I explain the ingredients, it might sound a little weird, but I promise you this tastes delicious. So we have our cold press juicer here. So the ingredients that I like to put into my juice now is cucumber, parsley, kale, romaine, celery, grapefruit, and pineapple. Another thing that I've been switching out lately because cherries are in season is instead of doing pineapple, I've been doing cherries. And that's also really simple. You just have to cut the pit off and it's kind of very similar. It's very time consuming, but it's worth it, I promise. You would just kind of cut the edges off like that and put not the pit in the juicer. But I'm going to show you today using pineapple. It's the easiest and obviously the most accessible. All right, so we are going to start. There's no right or wrong on what goes in first. It's just as long as you get it in there. But typically, if you are doing the fibrous ones, you kind of want to follow with a very water-filled one just to kind of make sure that those fibers don't get stuck and you have some malfunctions in the juicer. And what's great as well, again, with kind of the composting and less food waste, this pulp I love to put into ice trays and add water to it and then put it in the freezer to use the fibers and stuff in smoothies later. It's just a great kind of add to have in there if you don't have extra kale or something to put in smoothies, then you just have this fibrous extra, you know, could be waste, but it ends up not being waste for smoothies later. So I love to add juices into my weekly routine because it's all about adding in and not subtracting. I think that fad diets are not the way to go about things. It's not about taking things out of your diet. It's about adding things in first. Naturally, your body will get on this whole idea of like, ooh, that tastes good, I want that, just as much as it gets addicted to fried, I guess you could say fried foods. It's the same concept. So adding in a juice, adding in the greens in the morning, drinking matcha, things that are alkalizing that really give antioxidants and nutrients. This is a great way to make sure that you're kind of getting in all the nutrients that you need to feel your best. All right, same thing for lemon as I did the grapefruit. It's a little bit harsh to put the skin in the juicer, so we're just kind of gonna do the same style and toss it in there. We have a full. So normally I would put this in like a big jug and then I get all of this finished and it gives a lot, but this is a perfect example. This is probably 2 full juices right now, so if you're one person, this would be plenty. Beautiful, vibrant green color. There you go. You can smell that ginger and pineapple. It smells so good. I bought these glass containers on Amazon. This is great to keep in the fridge. I don't like to use any plastic, so I actually don't use plastic water bottles either. I have a delivery water service. Fill these up and keep them in my fridge for anyone who wants cold water. I personally don't drink cold, but I like being a host. Kind of have to have options. So for storage purposes, obviously this is a glass, so I'll drink this now, but if you wanted, you can put this into this glass container and store it in your fridge for tomorrow. One of my favorite things that I have incorporated into my morning routine is journaling and meditating. So I was very stubborn on this because to get me to meditate, I for sure have ADHD and always have a million other things that I'd rather be doing besides sitting down and meditating. And over again, advisors and people that I looked up to help me kind of be the optimal entrepreneur that I could be, it was something that I really wanted to make happen. So it started very simply. I started with an app called Insight Timer, or any guided meditation basically, and I started with 1 to 5 minute maximum, because that was about all my brain could take before I was like scurrying to make sure that I was getting whatever done that I needed to get done. And this is essential now to not only my morning routine, but also sometimes my nighttime routine. Now I've gotten to a place, it's been about a year since I really dedicated to doing 1 to 5 minute meditations in the mornings, where I can sit and now meditate alone with nothing, no guidance, for almost 45 minutes to an hour. Again, this takes practice and you have to be kind to yourself. I never thought in a million years that I would be able to sit and actually meditate and do what I do. But you start small and you reward yourself always for those small wins. Even doing 1 to 5 minutes once a day is a huge step to getting to a place of where you would like to be. If that's the only place, like that's also amazing as well. And journaling, secondly, has been a no matter what thing that I even take to travel with myself now. Anywhere that I go, I have my little travel journal. It's really helpful because when you start the day off in a place of gratitude, it helps remind yourself of all the things that you should be grateful for and things that are going on in your life that could be more positive, instead of, you know, sometimes we wake up on the side of the bed that is not a good side. And I'm totally one of those people that it happens sometimes. You just wake up, you start thinking about how much stress you have going on or whatever's going on with family, friends, relationships. It's very easy to go into a downward spiral that gets you in a place that is not a place that's a good way to start your day off. And journaling has really helped me. And I know many others kind of start off that foot right. And to start, I actually started with the 5 minute journal. This is a journal that you can buy on Amazon. It was, again, I had no idea how to start. I'm not a writer. I just was like, how am I gonna sit and journal about what? And the 5 minute journal I dedicated that I wanted for 1 month specifically, no matter what, didn't miss a day, that I wrote in that 5 minute journal. And this really helped me get on that routine of like actually really enjoying the things that I'm grateful for today and what kind of my affirmations were that day, what I wanted to achieve that day, and simple things like that. So after I graduated from the 5-minute journal and started journaling, just free writing, I always still to this day start with what I'm grateful for. And originally it started with bullet points, kind of similar to the 5-minute journal. Today I'm grateful for my fluffy little dogs. Today I'm grateful for the fact that I made, my greens this morning. I'm grateful for a new work opportunity. I'm grateful to meet a new friend, whatever it is that I'm feeling I should be grateful for. It could be as simple as I'm grateful for this plant and how much joy it brings me. There's so many things that you could be grateful for. It's just a matter of tuning your mind into what that is. And then from there, I always just free write what's on my mind. Sometimes I have weird dreams. Sometimes I don't have any dreams. But if you sit and just write like, you know what, today I woke up, I was feeling a little bit sad, but after writing in my grateful journal, I'm starting to feel a little bit more positive. I really hope that, this day goes really well. It's the great thing about journaling is there's no rules at all. It's basically just a place that you have that's sacred every morning where you can truly just speak out loud and speak your mind. And it's a sense of therapy because we're so trapped within our own minds sometimes, and our minds can go in such crazy places and downward spirals, and making sure that you are catching your mind from going into a dark place, journaling kind of allows you to do that. When you start to journal out things that are hard, you also start to think like, wow, maybe it's not that hard, or maybe it is, but life is going to get better. And I think that it's just 2 simple routine tools that I really have changed my life and have helped me so much with different chapters and different hard times, good times. Like, it doesn't matter what part of your life, it's essential, I think, for starting off your day on the right foot. I hope that this helps you as much as it has helped me.